Hello and welcome to the first ever Floppylegss Football YouTube video. Today's video is going to just be a simple Game Week 11 prediction video about the games that are coming up, and then we're also going to be doing a combined Liverpool and Manchester City squad. And I tell you what, it's controversial. Okay, first off, Brentford versus Brighton. Brentford just got absolutely smacked by absolutely just destroyed by Newcastle, who obviously are looking good this season. They're coming along from where they started off last year with all of that Saudi money. I do think Brentford will get the draw here. It's obviously at Brentford as well, which is obviously a factor, but Brighton just coming off a 1-0 loss to Spurs. You could say they were very unlucky in that sense to not get anything out of that game. Spurs didn't really do anything other than get the goal, but I don't think they'll get the winner today. It's 1-1. I'm predicting Tony and Trossard. Next game, my team, Leicester versus Palace. We just come off of an amazing result against Leeds, our first win for a while. We looked really good. We didn't start off well, that's for sure. They were in our box, just dominating us, it felt like, Leeds, for a lot of the game. But once we got hold of the ball, it did look like we could create some chances. That second goal, that Eze goal, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's unbelievable. We have had a really tough fixture list. If you don't know, we've had 4 of the top 6 teams. We've had Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea. We've looked good against these teams, but we've had a lot of the tough teams where we don't expect to win. That's why we are where we are in the league table at the moment. So I do think when we get into this current form and this current run-in that we have, we're going to slowly just work our way up that table, getting points here and there. Expecting against Leicester away from home, where we've had some luck in the past. We have had some luck in the past at the King Power Stadium. Look, Leicester in a really bad spot. Brendan Rodgers just isn't cutting it this season. It looks like, I don't know if anyone saw, but Leicester had to get rid of birthday announcements because they were making little different funny names to say, oh, can you say happy birthday to Zach Rodgers, please? Sack Rodgers. There's loads of them, so they just said, you know what, scrap it, we're going to get rid of all the birthday announcements because you've ruined it. But yeah, Leicester aren't looking good this year at all. They're not the same squad, so I do think we can go to King Power Stadium and get something, and I think it will be a Palace win. My bias, yes, maybe, but just yeah, I think Palace are going to win. All right, we're going to speed run a few of these now, but just because of the time. Fulham versus Bournemouth, I think it's going to be a draw. Wolves versus Forest, I'm going for a draw. It's Spurs versus Everton. Spurs do well at home, and I think this is going to be a routine 2-1. Next game, Villa versus Chelsea. I think it's going to be astronomical figures. I think it's going to be a 4-0 win to Chelsea. Maybe not 4-0. It's going to be a win for Chelsea. That's all I know for sure. Leeds, Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are due a slip-up, but I don't see Arsenal slipping up this time. I think they get the win here against Leeds. Next game, United, Newcastle. I think United here will draw. That's one of my shock results. I think they will draw because I think Newcastle have something about them. All right, the penultimate game, Southampton, West Ham. Easy bet. West Ham win. Done. Now what you've been waiting for, the final game, Liverpool versus Manchester City. This game for the last 5 years has always been the title decider, but Klopp actually said this time it is still a title decider, but not for us. Oh, poor Klopp. You'll gather very, very quickly from my videos that I'm not a fan of Klopp whatsoever. Always moans and always has something to say that is just... Anyway, this game is going to be nothing like we've seen in the previous years. I think we're about to see an absolute massacre. This City side is absolutely exceptional. They've got so much going for them, and it's just coincided perfectly with Liverpool having so much going against them. Obviously, they just come off a 7-1 win against Rangers. But obviously, Liverpool looked good, but it is Rangers at the end of the day. Like, I'm not going to try and see that and be like, oh, they can beat City now. They can beat City. This is a Manchester City win, and I'm going for like a 4-1. A 4-1. Now, what you actually came here for from the title of the video is the combined squad of Liverpool versus Man City this season and in recent times, okay? In goal, yeah, I've got Allison, okay? Allison, I will be honest, not always, but I tended back in the day to always say Edison was better than Allison, but in recent times I have swayed more to Allison. I do have to say this though, if you had to say like the lowest point of their form wise, like who had the baddest, the worst times on the pitch, I think Allison has hit way more bigger lows performance wise than Edison has. Edison's kind of been consistently good, but Allison's best is better than Edison's. Obviously that poor period of time was when Allison had some like really bad family moments, but on the pitch there was that dip that we haven't seen from Edison. But I think overall Allison's ability is just better than Edison. We're going to start with left back. Okay, we're going to go for Cancelo. I think this even goes further back than just recently. Robertson obviously has been fantastic. Of course, his best is elite. But what we see with Cancelo is something, again, like he's a right back playing left back like this. I don't think we've ever seen Cancelo, like the sort of things that he does with the ball for a fullback is crazy. Obviously, the system of City does allow for him to venture up into that left side channel and put in a ball that there's just so many moments, especially that outside the boot ball against, I think, Nottingham Forest, where Haaland is just Haaland and gets it in. But that's why I got Cancelo in there at left back. Time to get controversial, because remember I said this season. I said this season as well. Two centre backs, Ruben Diaz and Nathaniel Ake. Okay, listen close and listen. Please listen. Ake, yeah, I've watched a lot of Prem games this season. Ake has been so solid for City. He's distributed the ball well. He's won the ball. He's done everything you want from a centre-back. Something that Van Dijk hasn't done this season. Yeah? Van Dijk hasn't been Van Dijk. Van Dijk is not in this combined team. If you still put him in here, it is purely based off of previous years where, you know, he was debatably the best centre-back in the world. He is nowhere near that level anymore. Nowhere near that level. Van Dijk, I think, is the most overrated footballer the Premier League has ever seen. How can you say that he was on the same level as John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Emmanuel Vidic, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, all of these greats? How can you say he was on this level from 3 seasons? Three good, like, world-class seasons. Three. I could go on for hours, and there will be debates where I get my mate on who's a Liverpool fan, and we will have these sort of discussions. But leave in the comments down below, do you agree with that? Van Dijk, is he in this combined 11? I don't think he is. Diaz is just Diaz, and I think Ake does go in above. Trust me, Ake obviously took a long time to get some minutes on this pitch, but he's looking good. Right back now. Doesn't stop, does it? Doesn't stop this controversy. Look, my heart is pounding. My heart is pounding at this. Okay, the right back, guys, is Kyle Walker. It's Kyle Walker. Come on, it's Kyle Walker. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay, Trent Alexander-Arnold has never, for me, been in this discussion. Kyle Walker is so criminally underrated and not spoken about enough in this discussion of right backs. There was an era where it was Wan-Bissaka coming through at Palace, and I was the person saying that Wan-Bissaka was better than Trent, because the first job of a defender is to defend. Yeah, okay. Whereas Kyle Walker has consistently done both. Kyle Walker has always been the best English right back until Reece James came along, and obviously Kyle Walker's been a bit older. Kyle Walker's been elite, but right now, in my opinion, Trent is doing exactly what everyone's been saying for years, just proven time and time again that he's just a two-trick pony. He can whip the ball into the box, and he's a great dead ball specialist. That is Trent to a T. He's a two-trick pony. You want the whole package at a fullback. You want a Cancelo, you want a Kyle Walker, you want a Reece James. Trent isn't any of that. He works in that one system. If you take him out of that system, he's finished. And even now in that system right now, he's finished because Van Dijk isn't doing as well. Fabinho's not doing as well to cover up the mess. And Henderson's not doing as well and not there to cover up the mess. No one's there to cover up his mess. He's just a messy player. We can speed run now. Midfielders. No Liverpool players. There's no. You're going to try and tell me Thiago. You're going to try and tell me Thiago. Don't you dare try and say Harvey Elliott and Fabinho over Rodri. No way. It's Rodri, KDB, and Bernardo Silva in that middle three. On the right hand side. Did you say Salah? No, it's Phil Foden. It's Phil Foden. Salah's. Oh, don't get me started. Salah and Van Dijk. They're both so overrated. Foden. Haaland, of course, it should have been the first name I said. He's obviously in this list. He stays in the Prem for long enough. The all-time best striker we've ever seen in our lives. He's just everything you'd want from that Man City side. He's a poacher. He's in the box, and he just gets every goal that he needs. And on the left-hand side, to be honest, it is Diaz. Diaz in that front three has looked good. He obviously, that getting injured against Arsenal did knock something out of their team quite a bit, I feel like. But yeah, Diaz and Allison, the only two players from Liverpool getting into my combined City and Liverpool team. Let me know in the comments down below what player is missing that has to be in there. Oh, should I do manager at the end? It's Guardiola. Guardiola would be managing that side, not Klopp. Guardiola. Well, there you have it, guys. The first ever video on the Floppylegss Football channel. We're going to be doing more game week predictions with the betting element, as well as combined squads, and much more. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share it around, and please leave a comment down below of what do you disagree with the most? The whole point of doing this football channel is throughout my whole life, school, even on my streams, the amount of football debates that just spawn and just happen because one thing's been said. It's a lot of fun, so I wanted to do a channel on it. I wanted to do more on it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I see ya.